system. Celebrating 30 years on the air on WROI is the first federal program. Hosts may have changed, but the program is still the same. Now continuing a long-standing tradition, streaming on the First Federal Facebook page and on WROI. It's time for the first.
And good morning, it is time for the First Federal program, and we welcome the one and only Evan Gottschalk.
Hey, thanks, Randy.
Good morning, how are you?
Hey, doing great.
Of course, we can't forget Tanner's alongside as well. So.
Welcome, Tanner.
Thank you.
It's great to be on the First Federal radio program this morning. Summertime, pretty good weather out there.
Summer it is.
Yeah.
Today and tomorrow, I don't think it's going to feel like summer, but I'll take it.
When's the first day of summer? Isn't it like the 20th?
It's 20, 21st, something like that.
Our teachers back in the day are thinking, you guys should have nailed that.
It's one of those.
Yeah, I always know it's one of them.
Yeah, right. It's
Take the ballpark.
Summer solstice, I know that,
That's
right? Okay. We did our job.
Yeah.
Good enough.
We got somebody out there looking it up right now.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you.
The phone hasn't buzzed yet.
Yeah.
So.
Good thing this isn't a call-in show. Do you ever think about doing that?
They'd probably stump us. They call in and ask us questions.
Yeah, that would be easy to do. Maybe. All right. Hey, kind of a neat week this week with the D-Day commemoration going on around the country and around Europe, specifically about when the Allied boys took the beach at Normandy.
Just think if they wouldn't have, how it would have changed.
I know it.
Yeah.
And the courage of that generation back then, and they'd just been through the Great Depression, a lot of hardships going on for their families, and then risking it all to protect the world all the way across the ocean. It's a pretty neat story. A lot of good books and movies about that effort and what that took, but you just think about the internal character of the leaders at that time and the soldiers and paratroopers that went in first.
Yeah. Couldn't imagine.
No, I couldn't either. So that's a neat time to think about that 80 years ago, and a lot of families had some servicemen and women that served in one way or another at that time. Okay, well, we've got a fun interview coming. Brandon Overmyer from Fulton County Historical Power is going to talk to us about their organization and also the event they've got going on.
Big event this weekend.
So a real fun one for the whole family. So we'll hear about that in just a little bit. Trivia, relevant.
Yeah.
We've got some good trivia this morning.
Make it easy now, boys. I'm not Paul. I don't know. You're making me nervous on this trivia.
The NBA Finals finally started last night.
Yeah.
I don't know why there was such a long break. But
I think it was, of course it was on the schedule, but I think it was also because the Celtics Pacers went 4 games and the Mavericks and Timberwolves went 5.
That's true.
So I think the NBA was playing on 9 games combined in 2 series.
Fluff built in.
Yeah.
So we've got NBA trivia, Randy, for you.
This one could be a little tougher.
All right, we're gonna think about this a little bit. We've got a variety of choices here from different eras of basketball.
Yeah.
So, who averaged the most points per game in an NBA Finals series of all time?
Wow. Gladys is ABCD.
All right, good
I
point.
got a 25% chance.
I was looking at you, but you're right. There are some choices, so you're lucky there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, A is Michael Jordan. You knew he'd probably be on that list.
Yeah.
But then B is LeBron James. He's been in the finals an awful lot, scoring a lot.
Yes.
Then C is Shaquille O'Neal, who did a good tour of duty in the finals a few times.
Mm-hmm.
He could put the ball in the hole. Not at the free throw line, but
Not so
a little
much
bit
that
closer.
Shaq.
A little bit closer.
You need to be a few feet closer.
And then Elgin Baylor.
Wow.
I know you're a big fan of his, so.
That's some tough choices.
Yeah.
Different eras, different times.
Yeah.
Man, it'll make me think about this.
Let's give you some time to ponder that.
That's a good thing.
We'll revisit at the end
All right.
after you.
I probably won't be any closer to an answer, but
After you got the text from someone.
Yeah.
They looked it up.
Yeah, watch him, Cam. You're behind me. Watch him.
send that.
You'd have your cellular turned off while you're.
I'm going to guess this was a Cam question.
It was. It's all on him. So.
Uh-huh.
Our intern Cam Johnson serving up a good one.
Yep.
So here's the real question, Tanner.
Uh-huh.
Did you know the answer before you found out the answer?
I got it right.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Okay.
But it was
Yeah,
it was a tough
You
one.
had to think about it.
Yeah, I had to
didn't
think about it because
See, that scares me when Tanner has to think about it.
All right, well, let's hear about the sports going on
yes.
around. And
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Rochester baseball still chugging along, having a historic season.
yeah,
They became the first baseball team in the history of Rochester High School to win the regional last week, which was exciting down in Lafayette. So now we got a chance to win the semi-state tomorrow.
that's pretty neat.
That's awesome.
2 o'clock at Oak Hill, and of course the formats have changed. It used to be when 2 games to win regionals, 1 for semi-state. Now it's 1 game
Reverse.
regional, 2 games for semi-state. So they will play their first games against Westview. If they win that one, they'll play the winner of Madison Grant or Atlanta Christian. So good luck to the Zebras tomorrow.
I think, yeah, baseball's one of those sports that you really can't say that there's a favorite just
No.
because,
No.
Yeah.
the pitcher's got an off day or
Yeah.
the batters are having a great day.
Exactly.
I know.
You
Anything
don't
can
know.
happen.
I mean, anything.
And I was looking at the records, and they got very similar records.
Yeah.
Rochester has 1 more win than Westview. They have the same amount of losses, so on paper it looks pretty even.
Yeah.
That's the fun thing about baseball is usually games are within 2 to 3
Yep.
runs, and usually a team's going to be threatening at some point late with the guy or 2 on base, guy coming up that's
Yeah.
can hit. So
Well, it's
there's
just
a lot
like
of drama there.
Kind of like the last weekend. The Benton Central kid was supposed to be, such an ace,
Yeah,
and
right.
like I said, the first 2 innings he looked pretty good, but then all of a sudden Zebras is
Yep, got used
got
to
on
it,
him,
got
and
settled in.
yeah,
Yep.
and then his mojo went downhill quick.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
It's
there's
all it takes.
a lot
Emotional.
of
Very
a lot of
emotional.
different things that go
Yeah.
into it. So good luck to Corey Good and his staff and all the players on the Zebra baseball team. It's going to be exciting to follow for sure. NBA Finals we were just talking about during the trivia. Game 1 happened last night, and no surprise the Celtics got up 1-0 on the Mavericks. But I was surprised by the deficit in which they did that.
Yeah.
The final score was 107-89, and they jumped on them from the first quarter.
37 to 20 first quarter score.
Kristaps Porzingis made his return, and I don't think he could have played a better first quarter than
Yeah,
the return
I
than
don't
he did
either.
last night.
it's going to be a sweep.
No,
I'm still saying I'm sticking with Boston in 6. I
Yeah,
think
that's a good
Dallas
guess.
gets 2 in there somewhere. I
Probably
think,
at Dallas.
yeah, I think they have the best overall player, Luka Doncic, and Kyrie Irving's a good player too.
Mhm.
And after that, I think the drop-off's
Yeah.
pretty big time
I do too.
compared to the Celtics.
There's a pretty good home court advantage in NBA also.
Right.
So I do think
Yeah.
they'll get at least 1.
Right.
But Celtics are pretty stacked.
They are. They're a very good built roster. Credit to Brad Stevens
Yeah.
for building that roster.
Yeah.
So,
In 3 years.
in 3 years, if he can keep 2 of those core guys, they're going to be good for quite a while.
Yeah.
In baseball, of course, I mean, we haven't really put a dent in the season, it feels like, but I got a lot of updated records here. Of course, being a Yankee fan, I have to throw out the Yankee record while I can, even though they had an injury scare last night, so.
Like you said, it's still early for the Yankees.
Knock on wood that they get a good injury report. They're 45-19. And then in the AL Central, you got the Cleveland Guardians, maybe the story of the MLB season. They're definitely a surprise, 40-21. Kansas City Royals right behind them at 37-26. Detroit Tigers back to 500 ball this week, 31-31. And Chicago White Sox, 15-48.
So look at it next year.
How many have they lost in a row? I think it's 14 now.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Cam's nodding
a
yes.
cycle that'll never end. They're just
They almost got the Cubs a couple
Oh,
times
well,
recently.
they
so
probably should have once or twice in the series, but they didn't. So, yeah, they are.
That's always bad when you should get the Cubs. and you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, exactly.
That tells you how your season's going.
Yeah, that's a good indicator.
Speaking of the Cubs, they're almost back to 500. They're 31-32. There was some shifting around the NL Central behind the Brewers this week. The Reds are up to a record 30-33, and Cam's Cardinals, kind of a rough week for them, down to 29-32. So a lot of, but all those teams are still in for
I
the
was gonna
wild
say,
card.
that's-
So
that's-
it's
That's the
Double
scary
mess.
part. You got a
the
lot.
NL is not
close
good
right
right
there.
now compared
No.
to the AL. So.
And I liked that they added a third wild card
Yeah.
a few years ago. That really helped things out.
Yeah, helps more teams
Yeah.
have a fighting chance for a lot longer
It
than
used to
the
be
season.
only one, I think,
Yeah,
years ago.
used to be one, and then
Or none
Yeah.
before that.
yep. So it's been baseball's had some good changes over the
I
last few
think so,
years.
too.
So. We've got some tidbits here this morning. On this day, 1955, Dwight Eisenhower became the first president to appear on color TV.
Can't take that away from him.
No. On this day, 1972, the Pirates defeated the Padres on a walk-off walk in the 18th inning, winning 1-0.
Oh, that's terrible.
Tons of offense.
That may be the worst game in MLB
Classic,
history.
yeah.
I wonder how many people
Replaying
stayed on
tonight.
18 minutes for
Late.
that one.
Wow. Stay up and watch that one all night.
On this day, 1989, Wayne Gretzky, earning his nickname the Great One for a reason here, won his 9th MVP in 10 years.
Oh my gosh, I didn't follow hockey then. I
Right.
don't very much now, but
Right.
I didn't realize that.
Some of his statistics to this day are just unbelievable. It's,
Even if you didn't follow hockey, though, you knew
You
You
knew
knew who
Gretzky
he was.
was.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
represented the
Yeah.
entire
Yeah.
league in
Yeah.
your mind. 9 out of 10 years in the 80s.
unbelievable.
Wow,
He got his pro career started in Indianapolis.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the minors. On this day, 1993, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame broke ground for the museum in Cleveland. Either of you been
I've
there?
never been.
I have not.
I have not either.
I know a few people that have.
Mhm.
They say it's pretty cool.
Yep. Yep, I have not been there either. Been to Cleveland, but not there.
Bucket list.
Yeah, Buckeyes.
There
There
we
we
go.
go. And on this day, 2010, the Washington Nationals selected Bryce Harper with the first pick in the MLB draft.
Nice pick.
Yeah, I think that was worked
He's
out.
still raking.
Worked out for them, and it's worked out for the Phillies. So
Yeah.
yeah.
He wasn't in the minors very long.
No, and Cam and I were talking before we came on air. Remember hearing about him when he was 14 years old,
Oh, yeah.
and out in Las Vegas doing things on YouTube and highlights, and it's like, okay, he's good, but he's not going to live up to it once he gets in the pros. He has, and more.
Yeah.
So
That's why it seems like he's been around forever.
yeah,
You heard about him so early.
So young, yeah. Yeah, we got some good world and national days today. Today's World Caring Day. That's a good one. National.
Big hugs later, guys.
All right.
Hugs
National,
all over.
National Chocolate Ice Cream Day.
Mm.
National Donut Day. And National VCR Day.
Ooh,
VCR day. Wow, that's going back a few
Yeah.
years.
those were clutch in the day.
Yeah, they were very, very important.
Yes.
Cool. Some good days there.
Yeah, good days.
Go get you a donut afterwards.
There you go.
All right, we got one upcoming event we wanted to mention, and that's the Moose Lodge is having their annual opening of the lake, June 15th. That's Saturday at noon. Includes a boat parade. It's a week from Saturday, I'm sorry. Boat parade, $2,500 drawing, live music, and food trucks.
Can't beat it.
Nope, that's fun. And we wanted to mention a cool milestone for First Federal Family today. Our Winnemac manager, Rhonda Lauer's retiring today after 28 plus years of serving our Winnemac community and customers. She's been just a wonderful leader for us there, and worked with Bill Morris there for a number of years, and then took over managing when he retired, and now it's her turn to retire. So
Congratulations.
Yes.
yeah, Rhonda's a great friend, a great gal, and our family's going to miss her, and I know the community's going to miss seeing her there at our First Federal branch. So congratulations, Rhonda. Okay, little money news.
Ooh, we
You
gotta
gotta
have
rub your hands like this when you're a banker. You say money news.
Yeah, you got the crystal ball.
Yeah, whoa. Well, I will say market news, which you may already know this, Randy, but the S&P 500 hit a new 52-week high yesterday.
It did.
They seem to be, one of the exchanges seems to be hitting a high
Yeah.
on Thursdays right before we come in.
Yeah, right before it goes down then. It's-
Well, that's the way that works, isn't it? Someone sees, ooh, it's a high price, then they sell, and
Yeah.
the thing comes down. So, kind of weird how that works. A lot of psychology involved with markets and things
Sure.
like that. So the index is over 5,000, 5,352. The S&P 500 kind of represents a lot of companies, so it's kind of a broad-based look at it. And at the low point of the Great Recession in 2009, it was under 700, and it's 5,300 right now.
Wow.
That was 15 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
So, that's crazy. All right, this morning everyone's kind of in the economics world waiting for a big jobs report. There's a monthly jobs report that comes out, a couple of them. This is the second one from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they're interested in seeing if the economy's heating up or cooling down, and that's about all that may tell you. The funny thing is those reports always get adjusted in looking back, so
Yeah.
they may change what they said April's were as well, or kind of kind of weird, but that's what these traders, everybody looks at to kind of get an idea of what's coming and make a big guess on that. And then next week, the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee's meeting to discuss all those statistics and data and see what they think about it. And kind of in that meeting, they decide what they're going to do with their one short-term overnight interest rate. They do set that rate. They don't set the other market rates. Those just happen based on what people think is going to happen. But then they also look at and kind of make their own predictions, which they release over time to kind of say what they think. So that's what everybody kind of likes to see, is what they're looking at, what they think might happen with interest rates, and those all just reflect how the economy's doing and what they think inflation may do. All right, and then have you heard this, Tanner? Some investors are working on a new stock exchange
I've not heard that.
based in Texas.
Really?
Yeah, to compete
Interesting.
against the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. That seemed like kind of a weird headline that I saw.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but it was in a reputable
Yeah.
Interesting.
news site, so we'll see how that works. All right, thinking of First Federal this morning for a minute. We're offering some Simply Free checking accounts and Simply Free business checking accounts. Those are hard to find these days. Usually those come with a few fees there for the service, but we don't. When you open a new checking account, what's our free gift right now, Jim?
Yeah, right now, and the cycle's going to be changing here soon. So if you want one of these, make sure you come and take advantage today or tomorrow.
Okay, this is it.
You got a choice right now. You got a First Federal logoed umbrella, or you got a headphone speaker combination.
Oh, I like that sound
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
And what's coming? Do you know the next prize? Put you on the spot here.
He does, but he can't.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
There must be a big reveal coming Monday.
Yeah,
so.
there we go.
Yeah.
Stay
Pay
tuned for the
attention
reveal.
to the First Federal social media channel.
Well, that's a good plug. I like that.
Yeah.
Tanner does a great job making sure we're all informed on those channels. So, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, which we have these radio
Yeah,
broadcasts
archived for the
on
last
there.
4 or 5 years. Yeah.
So that's a fun place to check us out. We are the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best, Randy.
That's all that matters.
Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines for our loan products. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. Our NMLS number is 399927.
We are official.
Yeah, now we can go.
Yeah. Well, before we get to our guest,
Yes.
though, I should have asked why Tanner was over here. I want to know, how did the first golf outing of the year go yesterday? Put the pressure on.
We actually did okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the Woodlawn Foundation
Yes.
outing, which is one of our favorite ones that we do. And here in town, supporting a great, Woodlawn Health
I
organization.
saw the picture on social media, so I knew that you guys were out there. So.
We had 2 eagles on
Wow.
par 5s.
Legit.
Can't beat that.
No.
Legit.
And one of them we paid $20 to move on to the
Okay,
front
well,
tees.
yeah,
I
but-
should say
And
that.
you got to take advantage of what you're given.
Yeah.
Because, some of us are bankers, not golfers. A couple of us on
Or
the team
golfers,
are more
act like
golfers.
bankers.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a mix there. But yeah, I think we were 9 under maybe.
Cool.
We were hoping to hit the double digits.
okay.
Well, not bad for the first outing of the year.
No, that's right. Yeah, one of a
You don't
few
want to. You don't want to go
peaking early.
peak early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We left a few out there for
There you
so
go.
Thank
Okay.
you for asking about that. But a lot of teams, I think they had a really
Good.
really nice, and obviously that's to raise money for the Woodlawn Foundation. It provides, some needed equipment and things like that to Woodlawn Health. So
Perfect.
cool event. They did a great job running it. All right, now our special guest this morning is Brandon Overmyer from Fulton County Historical Power. Welcome, Brandon.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate your time here.
Our pleasure. We're looking forward to talking to you about that. Just wanted to start out first, Fulton County Historical Power. Tell us a little bit about that for those that may not know what that is. Maybe they're hearing about that for the first time this morning.
So a group of us in the early 2000s got together just for the love of preserving history and antique equipment,
That's awesome.
everything that built that ag industry, I guess, and we formed this club called the Fulton County Historical Power Association, and it's really took off. We were just a group of friends that got together playing with some antique tractors at that time, basically.
That's a good way to do things.
Now here we are. This is our 20th year of having an official show.
Wow.
it became something.
Hey, that's congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That's
Thank
a
you.
neat story to tell on that. So, you mentioned the show, 20 years of putting on a show. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what kind of show we're looking at. What would I expect to see if I came out there with my family?
Well, like I said, it's really about preserving history. So
Okay.
we don't discriminate on age or any type of farm equipment that you have. We have
Okay.
horses out there that'll be giving rides around, and
The original equipment.
Yeah, exactly. So then we have antique tractors, lawnmowers, hit and miss engines. We've had steam engines in the past. We give demonstrations. We try to really show how farming was throughout time.
How it's come along with technology advances and
It's just crazy, the advancements that have happened over the past 100 years, say, you know.
well, it's neat thinking about telling that story and being able to see that. Tell us where the show occurs here in Fulton County.
So it's north of Rochester off of Highway 31. If you look off to the west, there's a big round barn. That's the Historical Society grounds. And we've had our show there every year so far for 20 years. You can't miss it if you're going down 31. And it is a super nice facility. They have a village there
Yeah.
from antique buildings that have been moved there over time. The round barn, the museum's open every day. And actually, we're having a toy show going on there at that same facility. It even goes on Sunday. So our show's today and tomorrow, and then Sunday the toy show is also going on.
Okay, so we're doing this today. So you headed right after being here out to the show and
Yeah,
get
actually,
started?
as soon as I leave here, I got to go meet up with my family and have breakfast. They have breakfast there starting at 7 a.m.
Oh,
every
neat.
morning here, so in the museum. So then we're going to kick the show off and see what we can make happen today.
Okay, thinking about the Historical Power Association, there's a chance some of our listeners maybe don't know much about this. Is this something that's open for more members?
Yeah, we're always looking for more members.
Enthusiasts?
Exactly. When we started, we had a lot of members get involved fast, but unfortunately, a lot of our members have passed just because of the generations that we're dealing with for equipment and whatever. So we would love to have more members come and join. Come out, even if you don't want to join, come out and help at the show and our events that we have. And yeah, we're actively looking for younger and more help.
Now, Brandon, you're not one of those guys that is older in age, I'll say. I don't know how else to say that. So how did you get interested in, historical tractors and farm machinery?
Yeah. So my grandparents had a farm in Richland Center, which I now own ever since well before I was born. And they farmed with Minneapolis Moline tractors. So when I was in 4-H, one of my friends and I that helped start this club, Ben Overmyer, we restored antique tractors. Then this club started, and the rest is history. Now I think we have 20 tractors, and I don't know. I just love seeing history continue, and keep it alive.
That's amazing. That's a great story to tell. So what are the most popular things that people come to see at the show the last few years that you may have out there?
So we actually have antique tractor pulls. It's actually a dead weight sled. So you try to put more weight on as the night goes on and see
Okay.
who can pull it.
Yeah.
So that's always been a really big hit. We actually do a tandem tractor pull, which nobody else around does. There's 2 tractors side by side hooked to that sled, so you have to work as a team.
Oh, neat.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right.
So that gets pretty interesting. That's Saturday evenings. We have the tractor pull. We have our light and medium weight pull this evening out there, and then we've always had corn shelling and some demonstrations. If you like just seeing the equipment work and see how things were done in the past, that's also a big draw. We like seeing people come out and watch that happen. So.
That's great.
Do you have a specific tractor this year that you're featuring? I know some years you've chosen a tractor brand or something that you featured.
For sure. We have Hoosier Co-op Jamboree this year, so anything co-op, cockshut, anything along that lines is our featured tractor this year, and we're really ecstatic to have the Hoosier Co-op Jamboree. That's a pretty well-known club around the antique tractor industry and whatnot, so they're going to bring quite a few pieces of equipment out there, and I believe Co-op had got bought out, and what it's turned into, I believe it's turned into AGCO today, if anybody knows that, but all we need all colors of tractors. They're all welcome. We don't discriminate.
I like that.
We might pick on some of the guys with the green tractors a little bit. It is what it is.
I was gonna say, when I drove by yesterday, there was a ton of red ones out there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the green ones are hiding in the weeds. We're not going to talk about that.
That's hilarious. All right, now I have one other question for you. Is your club responsible for Santa's nice home out there on the fairground or on the historic grounds?
Yes, for sure. So Santa that was standing on the Torx building,
Yeah.
Textron for years. My whole life, I drove by as a little boy and saw it. It's now located there at the Historical Society grounds, and we built a shed for him to stay in for as long as we can keep it upright, I guess.
Well, I saw him out there this winter, and you're saying shed, but it's a lot nicer than what I'm picturing as a shed, Brandon. You guys did a great job.
Well, thank you. It's actually, I helped build that, so it's actually 18 foot tall and 12 foot by 12 feet. So it's, Santa's much bigger in person than what you see from a distance.
You found that out, didn't you?
We got a pretty nice place for him to hang out now, and I hope everybody comes out and sees him and drives by, and he'll be waving at you during Christmas time with the lights on. So.
Well, he's keeping an eye on that historic village for us, and
Yes, for
making
sure.
sure everything's taken care of. Well, hey, thank you for highlighting the show that's going on today and tomorrow.
Brandon, I think too, there's a special vehicle coming tomorrow, right?
Yes, indeed. So the Boilermaker Special Train, I've only saw this thing from a distance, so I'm pretty excited about seeing it up close. We'll be there from 10 to 2 tomorrow, and everybody can come out, and they're going to be giving rides, doing pictures, demonstration of
I think
what it
Tanner's
is.
going to be back. Smiling pretty big over there.
There we go. We need to get him out there.
What about sponsors? Do you have some partners involved with this?
We do. We actually were approached by numerous sponsors to help make this thing happen when the idea got brought up, and the major ones are Gone Ag, Schwenk Farms, Miller Farms, Cromland Farms, and Steve and Coretta Brown. Those people made it happen so we could do this for everybody.
Well, thanks to those sponsors and donors and supporters, and also Brandon, thanks to you and your club mates for, well, number one, for getting this thing started with a good idea 20 years ago.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you're sharing your interest in things that we don't want to forget about. And that's,
Yeah.
we're an ag community, we're interested in these things, and I appreciate all the work you guys are doing to make sure it's front of mind for our community.
Well, thank you. Here's a fun fact about First Federal and how they've been around the ag industry for a while. So I'm going to say between the 60s and 70s, my grandparents went to your president and founder, Dick Belcher, and they wanted to buy some farmland, 212 acres. And it was the first ag loan they ever lended to was to my grandparents for that.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just asked, my grandpa's 91, he's still alive and living with us, and he said that it was $400 an acre. And Dick just didn't see how it would ever pan out.
Yeah, it's too high.
So look at today, how things are going, and all
Wow.
the history there.
That's a neat story. Thank you for sharing that, Brandon.
Yes.
That means a lot to us.
Thank you guys for having us, and we hope to see everybody at our power show here today and tomorrow, and it's a very minimal fee to get in and come and support history and have some fun doing it.
Hey, well, pleasure having you this morning, and good luck to the show.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Hey, you may have an answer here on this trivia.
Okay.
Who averaged the most points per game in an NBA Finals series ever? Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal, or Elgin Baylor? What's your guess?
I mean, I was always a big Michael Jordan guy, so that's what I'll go with.
Okay.
I'm
Randy?
gonna have to go with Michael. I mean, when you put his name in anything like that, I'm gonna guess that he's probably the answer.
You guys are right. 41 points a game average in the 93 NBA Finals.
That's how he's the GOAT. Right?
I think so. I think that proves it. All right, let's end with the sports words of wisdom this morning. Vince Lombardi, pretty successful coach in the NFL.
Pretty good guy.
Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence.
Like it. Love it. Evan, thanks for being here this morning. Tanner, Brent, good luck, and we'll talk to you again next Friday.
Thanks, Randy.